Here in the press room with Minjee Lee at the Chevron Championship. Just played 9 holes in Pro-Am. How
Yep.
are you finding Mission Hills this year?
Yeah, I mean, the conditions are really, really lovely. You know, there was no wind this morning. The greens are in really great shape, and the grass is, the rough is probably not as long yet, but I think it's going to be a great turnout.
This is a golf course you've played well at before. Had a decent finish in 2017, decent finish in 2020. I think both top 10s. How comfortable are you at this style of golf course?
I think it's a very ball strikers course, so I think, as long as you're driving it well, you have good iron shots in, I think you're going to have pretty good looks for birdie. So, at parts of the course, it is quite tight, so I think having good iron accuracy and driving accuracy, I think it's a real big help around here. So I think that's where I have good strengths in my game, so I feel quite good around here.
We were just looking at your numbers. You've got 3.01 in strokes gained approach right now. You're killing the field. What have you been working on with your ball striking that's helped you in those approach shots?
I feel like I've always, that has always kind of been my strength, but just over the past few years, I've been really working on my technique and actually mostly just getting a bit more length on my drives, but I think it's sort of helped over all parts of my game. So that's probably been the biggest thing for me, and I've actually been working more on my short game, which I think maybe lacks a little bit in comparison to my long game. So hopefully it all comes together this week.
Where did you find that extra distance off the tee that's made such a difference for you?
Definitely just better technique and in the gym. I've been over the off season hitting it really hard in the gym, and I like working out so over the course of the year. So I think that's where I've really gained some of the distance.
We know Mission Hills is a ball striker's golf course, but it definitely rewards those with a good short game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What have you been working on to kind of prep yourself for, every once in a while you might miss a green. What have you been working on to kind of prep yourself to have some of those trickier short game shots around here?
Yeah, I mean, just around the green, it's a little bit longer, like the rough. So I think I've just been doing a little bit more work, just my short kind of rough shots and bit more of my, maybe my 5 to 10 foot putting. I think that's what I've mostly been working on.
Finally broke through last year at the Evian. Finally won a major. How different do you feel coming into this year's major season as a major champion?
To be honest, I don't really feel too much different as a person. I feel the same, but I think golf-wise, I'm just a little bit more confident, I think, in just myself and in my game, just a little bit more belief there, I think. Something that I probably don't really think about too much, but is just a little bit more subconscious. Other than that, I don't feel too much different.
It's probably a good thing. So far this season, you had a T2 at the HSBC Women's World Championship, T12 at Honda. I mean, how good are you feeling about your game heading into this week? I know we played a little bit of a different California course last week, but how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I've been striking it really well, and I think my putting's coming together just with the little tweaks that I've had done this week, and hopefully it's going to be a great week.
What have you, if you don't mind sharing, what have you been working on your putting in particular?
Just a little more on the roll. I think just from last week it's been bouncing around a little bit, so I think just to get a bit more trust in that it's rolling on the right line, and seeing the breaks a bit better, which is much easier on this type of surface. So that's what I've been.
How do you switch your mind? I mean, having played on POA myself, how much it's going to bounce.
Right.
And then you have to come out here and you're like, no, I can hit it that direction because that's the way it's going to roll. Is it tricky to kind of change your brain?
I mean, I think like what Imbi said last week, I don't think you can take it personally. You never know where it's going to bounce on Poana Green. So it's just a little bit different mindset. When you come here, you're going to get a good roll, and you're going to be able to read the breaks much better. So I think it's just you can't really think too much about last week and, moving on, coming into this week.
Are you a player that typically likes to play the week before a major?
I do, yeah. I think most majors I played the week before.
And just kind of being here, I know everybody's going to talk about it's the last time at Mission Hills, the last time in this area.
Yeah.
Obviously, a great new partner in Chevron, but I know a lot of people have described this week as bittersweet. How are you feeling about this being the final time in the desert?
I mean, it's beautiful here. I think we've been really fortunate being here for so long, and but with Chevron coming, as a partner, I think I do think history is very important, but I think the growth of the LPGA and the women's game is even more important. So I think it is a little bittersweet, but I think we're, going in the right direction and in a good direction. So I'm excited for the future.
First year back really with fans on site, like in totality.
Right.
How much more fun does this place feel when there's that presence here?
It's just like the atmosphere is totally different. When you hit a good shot, you're going to get claps, and I think it's just so different. Even the mood of the place is, I think it's just a bit more buzzing with people all around. So, no, it's really fun, and it's great to have people out and about.
Speaking of that, we just had major champion and Chevron championship winner Lorena Ochoa in the press room a little bit ago. There's a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of other champions of this event hanging around. Have you seen anybody this week? And how cool is it to have all of those kind of historic bodies in this one place?
Right. I think Patty Sheehan was watching us on the 17th hole yesterday, so that was pretty cool. I think she's been driving around watching people, so that's been cool. And I haven't seen Lorena yet, but I've only met her once, so I'd like to see her. Say hello.
What was that meeting like?
Patty or
Lorena?
I actually played with her at the. I didn't play with her, but I met her at the Korean event. I think it was one of those events, exhibition match kind of tournament, but it was cool. We just kind of talked about just random stuff, not much golf.
Do you have any people that are kind of in that company that you look to for advice, for all that kind of stuff out here?
Definitely, Webby's the closest, I think, kind of person. I think I kind of ask questions mostly too, but she hasn't been around so too much this year and last year, the last couple of years. So, more just through text and, but it is nice when we can get, we can chat one-on-one or, face to face. But probably Webby.
And then the final question for me, obviously there's one goal this week.
Right.
Be the last person to jump into Poppy's pond. But other than that, what are some of your goals for the year's first major?
I think just hitting every shot when I'm 100% ready. I think that's just my goal as a golfer, just trust the process, trust in myself, and trust that I made the right decision each shot. So that's my goal. And obviously jumping into the pond.
Well, hopefully we'll see you do that on Sunday. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.